Shopify just released their newest update, the Shopify Editions Winter 25. And they call this the boring edition. And honestly, I can see why. There's no major announcements or brand new features, just minor updates on existing features. But if you use Shopify every day, then those updates aren't actually as boring as they make it seem. And I went through all 150 plus changes and pulled out 5 that I'm actually excited about that I'm going to share with you today. But really quick, before I get into those, I just want to quickly plug our free email newsletter. So if you're trying to grow your Shopify store, then it's perfect for you. We share actionable insights and tips that you can use to scale your store. And on top of that, when you join, you get access to our entire library of conversion boosting customizations and features, all for free. So check it out, link is in the description. Okay, let's get into the updates. Okay, so the first update that I wanted to highlight is this custom Metafields for product categories. So it says here, assign your Metafields to only apply to specific product categories and extend the standard attributes in Shopify's taxonomy to better fit your store. So what does this all mean? Okay, let me show you an example. So here are the category Metafields. This is something that they released previously to help with adding color swatches to the store, right? So if you can see in our store here, we've got these color swatches. So I shared how that works in a previous video, and they're really great if you only need it to work for color, but there were some limitations with it. So we talked about that previously. I won't get into it too much right now. But with this update, they've potentially plugged some of those limitations. And so if I'm just going to scroll a little bit further down, you can see here, Fabric has these little images with it, the swatches with their with the variant options. So you can see here, we can select a color with it, we can select an image, and it gets placed in here. And now we can essentially assign images and colors to variants other than color. And this is how we can use these category Metafields. Now, it's not fully working yet. So if we actually go to the store and look at this product, you're going to see that it doesn't actually show the swatch or the color just yet. So there has to be something fixed on the theme side as well. So I'm not sure if Shopify is going to fix that, but if they don't, then that's something that we're definitely going to be taking a look at. And what this does is it allows you to have a more native way of managing your swatches in your product. So you can actually see how the swatches are being maintained directly in your product admin versus our sort of swatch solution was to use a JSON file to assign all of the different variants. So this could potentially be a little bit more intuitive, a little bit more on the admin side to get your swatches working. Now, this is just one application of it, right? So you can see here in our category Metafields, we previously could select all of these preset ones, but now we can kind of create our own. So if you go to settings and then go to custom data, products, and we can add a definition, but you can see here, if we go to assign to categories, we've got these Metafields that are assigned to specific categories. So what do I mean by that? If we go to Fabric here, it's, actually this is the Shopify default one. So Fabric Swatch, this is one that I created. And you can see here that we've assigned it to the t-shirts category. So any product that has t-shirts means that it can now, sorry, we got to come back out. We can now assign the category Metafields here. In this case, Fabric Swatch, or it could be, this text Metafield here. And what that does is it, extends the categories that your product, the t-shirts are under, but it also gives you the option to use it as a variant, which is what I showed you earlier. So I think this is really cool. This gets us closer to having a more native way to support swatches directly in the Shopify admin. And this is definitely something I'm going to be looking at later to apply this on the theme side to be able to pull those images or those colors, and perhaps have a brand new way of approaching how to manage our swatches in the theme. So I'm really excited about this. I think this is really cool, and looking forward to working with it moving forward. Okay, so the second update is the checkout blocks on more pages. This was a feature that was only for Plus users previously. So here it talks about how we can edit our checkout process. A lot of this is for Plus users only, but you can download this app and add it to your store. And what you can do is you can actually edit the order status and thank you pages if you're on a regular plan. All these other things like the checkout page and all of that has to be on Shopify Plus, but we do get some features with the regular plans, which includes, as I mentioned, the order and the thank you page. So what does that look like? Okay, so if you open up the Checkout Blocks app, this is what you're going to see. It gives you the option to create some blocks, right? So this is an accordion example. We can open it up, and you've got all these features where you can add images or text to the block. So maybe this guy here. Different mobile image. Let's just hit done here. You can add dividers, buttons, spacers. I mean, there's a lot of options here to kind of design this block that then gets added onto the thank you page or the order status page. And so let's just save this. And you can make a number of different blocks as well. So then once you've done that, then you can actually add it to the editor, where you can open editor. Okay, and so it opens up the checkout editor, and here we can select some of the different pages that we have access to. And right now we're on the checkout page, but on the checkout page, we can't actually make any edits. Like I mentioned before, this is only for Plus users. But if we go to the thank you page, then we can actually add app blocks, right? And so the app blocks that we can add are actually the ones that we just created in our checkout blocks app, right? So we had created this accordion example, which is set up as dynamic content. And so here I can add dynamic content, and then the ID for the one that we just created was 0. You can see our ID is 0. And here we can see now that our dynamic content has been added in. So this obviously doesn't look the greatest, but essentially shows you that we can now add this additional information into your thank you page. And we can drag it around, right? We can change its positioning if we want it to be underneath some of the order status or inside of the customer's information. We could place it wherever we want, and then it will show up there. And so we can also go to the order status page, and you can see here we can also add app blocks in the order status page too. Because of all the different ways we can actually create these blocks, I think to dive deeper into this, I might make a completely separate video, but just wanted to introduce this concept to you that you can actually create these blocks that appear on your thank you page and order status page, where that wasn't available before. Okay, our next update is that Sidekick is rolling out. So you might want to check your Shopify admin, and you may already have access to it. So we can go to our store here, and you can see if you have this little icon here in the top right. If you do, then it means you have access to Sidekick. And Sidekick is their AI assistant that helps you do different things on the Shopify admin. So I think this probably deserves a longer video, but just as a quick demo, we could do something like create a new product for me called the prompted shorts. Okay, and so it creates some information. There's a price, description, SEO description, title. So let's preview this. And so it opens up a new product. It doesn't actually fill it in for some reason, but if you push it again, then it does. So now it sort of helps you go through the process of creating that new product, right? So before, if you knew exactly where you needed to go to create a new product, you could, you go through the admin, click the buttons, and then you get here. But now you can just kind of chat with Sidekick to get you to do certain things, right? So we can create this product, or it's like, hey, let's update our shipping rates. And so let's do that. And then it can just take you to your shipping and delivery settings and just generally helps you navigate around or do admin actions. And so I think it's pretty powerful. Haven't really stress tested it yet to see what the limitations are. So we'll be looking at doing this in a future video. Okay, so the next update is that the theme blocks are now live. And this is something more for developers. So if you're just a store owner or a user, then you may not need to necessarily know how to make these theme blocks, but it would be useful to know that they exist so that you can use them when they get rolled out more and more. So what it is it's kind of like a Shopify section, but for blocks. So what do I mean by that? Let's go to the theme editor, online store theme. And you can see here we have these sections, right? So you can add a section in however you like. Well, these theme blocks are kind of like that, except you can now share blocks across sections. So here, right, this is a section, but you can add a block, right? And then this block, so here you have text. So you can now create blocks that are shared across different sections, and you can even nest them. So there's a lot of different ways that you might want to use this. I think it's more useful for people who are developing features, someone like ourselves, that will make it easier and more user-friendly for the end user to actually use on the theme editor. So I'm really excited to start playing around with that a little bit more and get that to in some of our new customizations for you guys to use. But just wanted to make you guys aware that's live and will just sort of be embedded as a foundational layer in future customizations. So that one's more for me, but it's something that I'm actually really excited about. Okay, and so the last update is one that I wasn't originally going to include, but when I was playing around with some of these features, I just sort of noticed it. And that's that everything just loads up faster. So there's faster cart and checkout, faster accelerated checkout buttons. They mention it throughout here a few times. So there's the admin is faster, page-to-page navigation's faster. And it's something that I actually quite felt. Now, having said that, as I'm doing this recording, my computer's slowing down because now I'm just using extra resources. So you may not notice it in this video because there's other things going on. But when I was testing everything out, I did notice that pages were loading up a lot faster. And when you're using Shopify every day and you need to constantly go through all these different windows, you really do feel how sometimes Shopify just takes forever to load up. And I've just noticed there's a noticeable improvement on that. So it's just something that I think makes the overall experience a little bit better than it was before. And so I just wanted to tip my hat to Shopify for that one. Okay. Now, those are the 5 updates. There's actually a few things that we are still waiting for, though. So one that I'm really waiting for is the extended variants. So right now there's a 100 variant limit. They announced last year that they're extending that to 2,000 variants. We're still waiting on that. So hopefully that comes out soon. And the other one is markets, sort of a harmonized markets area. So they announced here that it's actually something that they're rolling out. Let's take a look. Yeah, markets are rolling out soon. So it says it's coming in over the coming months. We don't know when what that actually means in terms of time, because sometimes these take a while. But it would be really nice to have sort of one harmonized area to control how all the markets work, whereas right now it's sort of in many different areas on the theme. So I'm also pretty excited for that to come out, but as of right now, not available. Okay, so those are the 5 updates that I wanted to share with you. There's actually a lot more changes, and without getting into the details, I found there were useful updates with their email marketing tools, their tax tools, Shopify flow automation, bundles, and more. So I highly suggest you look through the updates. There's 150 plus of them, because there just might be something on there that you'll find really useful. But that's it for today, and I'll see you in the next one.